Mormon Geographical Cultural Area. In July of 1847, the Mormon pioneers arrived in the Salt Lake Valley. One of the first things they did was to lay out how the new town and city would be built. Brigham Young's city planning was influenced by the church's founder, Joseph Smith's city plan, known as the Plat of Zion. Salt Lake City and the Plat of Zion became the model for hundreds of LDS and Mormon communities, reaching from Canada to Mexico and as far west as California. The Plat of Zion was originally designed to support about 20,000 people in one town. A paper published in 1965 by Donald Manning in the Annuals of the Association of American Geographers. The Mormon Cultural Region. Strategies and Patterns in the Geography of the American West, 1847 to 1964. He listed several features that characterized areas in the western United States that had been settled by the Mormons. The town was laid out in a north, south, east, west grid with square city blocks, about 10 acres per block. The streets were wide enough to turn a horse and wagon around. An addressing system that named streets by how many blocks they were away from the center of town. For example, 315 west, 400 north. Open lands were around town. People lived in town and farmed outside of the town. Houses were built with the central hall style. Houses were symmetrical, usually with a chimney on each end of the house. A high percentage of the homes were built of brick, usually red or yellow brick. The blocks in the center of town were for churches and other public uses. The church usually had a steeple. Streets and ditches were lined with trees. Lombardy poplars were quite common. Ditches ran along the sides of the streets. Barns and granaries were inside the town behind the home. Barns were usually unpainted and in poor shape. Granaries were usually built inside out. The studs were showing on the outside of the building, and the horizontal boards were nailed on the inside. Fences were usually made of poles with upright boards nailed on. Many times the fences were made out of whatever was available, junipers, cedars, or whatever would plug a hole in the fence. Sheep, cattle, and other livestock could be seen in the same pasture. Hay derricks are usually found in yards or fields. How many of these Mormon cultural features can you find in your town?